Hello there, grade 2. Welcome to experience class week 15. So today we're going to be looking at a new animal, or well, actually not a new animal, an animal you do know, but we're going to look at a specific type. Right? So let's have a look. So what is this? Good. It's a fish, right? It's fish. It's what we eat. Now the animal's still a fish and the meat is still called fish, but what kind of fish is this? Do you guys know? Let's have a look. So what fish is this? Have a look at it. Anyone know? Salmon. That's right. We're going to be looking at different types of salmon and some of the characteristics, where they live and what they do. Okay? So you look at these fish, quite colourful, very beautiful, right? So there's a variety of salmon. So like with lots of fish and other animals, we have different kinds, right? So we've got the Chinook Salmon, the Chum Salmon, Pink Salmon, Sockeye Salmon, Salmo Sala, or the Atlantic Salmon, and then we've got the Keta Chum or Dog Salmon. So even with the same type of salmon, they have different names in different areas. Okay, so let's have a look at the first type. What salmon is this? Do you guys remember what salmon is this? From the pictures you saw earlier, what does it look like? Good, it's the Chinook Salmon. Okay, so first thing you want to know about a salmon. So Chinook Salmon are androgynous fish, which means they can live in both fresh and salt water. Okay, so normally when salmon are born, they are born in fresh water that does not have salt, and that's normally, you know, inland, in the mountains, and lakes and streams. And then what happens is when they grow up, they travel down all the way to the oceans and the seas where there's salt water. So this fish can actually survive in both, which is very good. Not all fish can do that. Right? So two species of Chinook salmon are listed as endangered under the Endangered Species Act. Now, endangered, do you guys remember what endangered means? We've done it before, might have been a little while ago. It means when there's not that many of that animal left. So can you think of any other animals that might be endangered? There's a couple we talked about before. A very cute one. It's black and white. What animal is that? Yeah, it's a cute little panda. That's the one we're talking about. That's an endangered animal, right? Good. Next. So here we're looking at the specifics. So the weight is about 40 pounds, but can be up to 120 pounds. So on average they're 40 pounds, but they can grow to 3 times the size, which is massive. Okay, their lifespan is up to 6 years, and their length can be up to 3 feet. So that's roughly half my height. That's how big a Chinook salmon can be, which is really big, right? It's almost as big as some of you if I think about it. Alright, next. Okay, so here, this salmon is the Chum Salmon, yeah? So, US wild caught Chum Salmon is smart seafood choice because it is sustainable, managed, and responsibly harvested under US regulations. So this here, does it mean smart seafood? Does this mean it's a smart fish? Don't think so. So here, a smart seafood choice. So it's sustainably managed and responsibly harvested. So this means this animal is grown in places and then is taken out at safe rates for us to eat. Okay, because what would happen if we took out all the fish and we started eating them? How would we get more fish? We have to give them time to have more babies, right? So we have to be responsible and just not eat everything at once. So here, Chum salmon Chum salmon are found throughout the North Pacific Ocean and in most coastal streams and rivers from Alaska to Central California. So what that means, when we look at the map, this is our North Pacific Ocean map. Is it here near China and South Korea, or the other side of the North Pacific Ocean where it's near Canada and the United States? Is it left or right? Good, it is right. It's near this side here. So around here where the fish are, go out here when they're adults, but here along all the streams inland, that's where we can find a lot of Choho salmon. Next, oh, what is this boy? He's massive. What is this one? It's the pink salmon, okay? So pink salmon, let's have a look at some facts about this. But that is really big. Ooh, could you eat that much salmon? I don't think I could. Well, maybe I could, but you never know. So again, pink salmon is a smart seafood. Now, do you guys remember? Do you remember what is smart seafood? Good. It's the one where we harvest it at manageable and sustainable rates, so we give them time to grow and have more babies, and we take out the older ones and we harvest it properly instead of taking out all the fish. Good. So pink salmon are found on both sides of the North Pacific, okay, from Alaska to Puget Sound in Washington State, and from Russia to North Korea. So they're pretty much going all around the place, right? So let's have a look. So we've got the North Pacific. So basically, all the way from the United States and Canada, we can find the pink salmon, and all the way to North Korea and Russia. Let's have a look. Around these areas here, we can find this salmon. And that's really impressive, right? So this salmon goes a long way. Can you swim that far? These guys can. Alright, let's have a look at the next one. Okay, so this one's Sockeye Salmon, okay? Sockeye is one of the smaller species of Pacific salmon, measuring only 1.5 to 2.5 feet in length and weighing 4 to 15 pounds. So this one here, when you look at it, it really isn't that big, okay? And if you look at the colours, it's very beautiful and it's got very vibrant colours. Alright, so as sockeye salmon return to their freshwater spawning grounds, their heads turn green and their bodies turn bright red. Hence their other common name in Alaska is red salmon. Okay, so when you look at this colour, is it very kind of it's very red, right? So it's very kind of bright. So that's why it has a special name called red salmon. And also, it's kind of impressive. It can change colours when it's going back to fresh water. Okay, so it's like, if I went to a different city, do I change colour? No, but salmon do, and that's pretty cool. All right, next. Ooh, what's this guy? Let's have a look. This is the salmon sala, or the Atlantic salmon, right? Okay, so Atlantic salmon are only salmon native to the Atlantic Ocean. So you can't find this fish anywhere else, only in the Atlantic Ocean, okay? So when we look at it, it's on one side of Canada and then Greenland, and this is going towards England and other areas, okay? So this is how a lot of salmon grow, okay? So where you see these black lines, that's the outgoing migration. So when they're babies and they're growing up, they start swimming out of the rivers and the lakes and into the ocean, okay? And then they go up, okay? And this is where they get bigger and they start feeding more, and they are in salt water, okay? So, and this area is the post-summit summer feeding area. So post means after one of their stages, which is the summit stage, okay? And in the summer, this is where the guys eat. This is where all the salmon eat. And then later on, they go further up all the way to Greenland, and they eat here in the winter, okay? So these guys eat here in the winter, okay? And then they come back all the way down, and they eat around here, okay? For the multi-sea winter salmon wintering area, okay? So, and then what happens is they'll return all the way back into the mainland, so back into the rivers, back into the lakes and the streams with the fresh water. and this is where they will have more babies. Okay, so they go out when they're adults, they feed more and get bigger and grow up, and when they're ready, they'll come all the way back and they'll have their babies up here. Alright, let's have a look at the next one. Whoa! That's a bit of a scary head. Look at that. And that's the salmon. Look how green it is. It's very different to all the other salmon, right? Remember? So this one is the keta or chum or dog salmon. Right? So chum salmon are androgynous. They hatch in freshwater streams and rivers and then migrate out to the saltwater environment of the ocean to feed and grow. So like I was saying earlier, they born in fresh water and then they go out to the bigger oceans to feed. Okay, so as they grow larger, they migrate offshore across the North Pacific Ocean. So migrate means to move to another area. Okay, next, in North America, female chum salmon typically have 2,000 to 4,000 eggs. All chum salmon die after they spawn. So think about that. 2,000 to 4,000 eggs. That's so many little fishies ready to be born. Okay, and then unfortunately when they lay their eggs and they spawn, unfortunately the salmon dies, which is a little sad, right? Alright, next one. Oh, here, the last page. What is that fish doing? It's jumping, right? So salmon actually jump quite often. Okay, which salmon is this one? The particular salmon that likes to jump a lot. What salmon jumps? Typical one is the young sockeye salmon. Have a curious behavior. They jump up to 30 centimeters in the air, sometimes skimming along the surface for close to a meter using their tail fins. So they can jump up to a meter high. I don't think I can jump a meter high. Can you? So about 9 times a day on average. And they'll do this quite often, right? So they do it for a couple of reasons. Normally, they do it to avoid obstacles. So like here, the river, the water's going opposite and they're going the other way, right? And there's a little hill there. They can't exactly just, get out of the water, walk around and then keep swimming. So for them to get over, they have to jump. And this is why a lot of salmon jump, to get past obstacles and move further up. And that is a lot of different types of salmon. You're going to watch some other videos later with Miss Carol and Mr. Cooper, or maybe you've seen them already. And I'm going to do another video explaining how to do the experience class activity. Okay, thank you, and I'll see you soon.